Hello and good evening, folks. We are back. It's Friday evening. It's Tier 1. Welcome back to APPF1 for tonight's dose of racing action. We are here and in the Kingdom of Bahrain for what is round 2 and race number 2 here in APPF1. It's going to be a great one. Our second visit to Bahrain, second round in the Tier 1 Championship, and a full car grid. What more can there be? We had absolute scenes and drama in Tier 2 on Tuesday. Will we have a little less drama for the stewards and a little bit more racing action? Let's find out as the drivers go out for qualifying. Jesus Christ, this is loud. And hello everybody, I'm back. I'm back in the booth here commentating on a race in APPF1, and it's great to be here. It's been a very, very long time as we watch Sui Ross exit the pit lane in his lime green Sauber. There's a few cars behind as well. And you know what I was thinking when I while I was sitting there waiting for the lobby to start, was that there's a fair few drivers here now who haven't heard me in the comms box, other than in perhaps highlights packages that I've put together. And I'd apologise, by the way, guys. I haven't been putting those together recently. I might come back to those. But I was thinking about that just now. It's been that long since I've commentated on a race in APPF1, I think. Not quite a year, but long enough to have missed it. But holy damn, we're back. It's Bahrain. And we've got some standings to run over before we go anywhere in the else in the qualifying session. We'll try and run over those actually in a minute, because I want to follow on upon a lap. I'm a bit rusty. I've not done this in a while, you know, so it's going to be decent. I've got my standings up here now on the phone, so we can run through those in a minute. Sui Ross is about to go out on a lap. He'll be the first driver to complete a lap in this qualifying session tonight, and he's going to come around the final corner and take out the bollard in doing so. But we'll take you on a lap then. It's very, very important to get a good exit out of the first corner. I don't know why Sui Ross is all the way over to the right hand side of the grid, if I'm being honest with you, but all the way down to there, onto that dirty part of the track he went, but braking very, very late into there, locking up that front wheel. You want to try and brake as late as you dare, but carry the speed through here, confident through turn and 2 and 3, and then down towards turn number 4. It's staying in 7th gear, shift down to 4th, and in the 3rd to get that extra rotation, wide as possible on the exit of the corner, and then into this section, commit through these couple of corners, really carry the speed as he goes down the hill now in towards turn number 8. Try and hit that apex far wide. You want to improve on that as the session goes along. Sui Ross continues now into turns 9, now 10. Very, very tricky corner, and it's very easy to lock up or get wrong or spin on the exit. Sui Ross manages to control the car going down towards turn 11 on the second of the DRS straights along here. Into turn 11, chuck the car in 5th gear for Sui. You can go in 4th, very, very deep, but almost loses the car as he goes out on the exit through turn 12, now flat all the way through in towards turn 13. Downshift into 4th. Oh, this is a very scrappy lap from Sui Ross. He'll hope to improve on that later on. He's got 2 more corners technically to navigate. This is turn 14 right here, and then 15's a tiny little kink. Carry the speed through 14. 15 is right here, and then all the way down toward the line. Try and get the best time possible. Where is Sui Ross going to go? 28.7. I think that's been beaten immediately by CPI Finley there as well. And that is the first couple of laps. Who's going to be crossing the line next? I think it's actually Lifebout. No, it's Jonathan in the RB, and then there's Rick with a 29.1 there as well. We're about to get a Haas across the line. That's Yaram putting in a bit of practice perhaps on the medium compound of tyre. Then there's not speed, but Kevin O'Reilly on an outlap, so it is going to be speed next. Let's see what the South African can do on his first run of the night. Crosses the line. Let's see where he goes. It's a 27.8. It's not a bad attempt, but it's 7/10 off of the fastest time so far. Next, Hamilton Merck, one of the PC racers we've got here in APPF1. 6th place as Lifebound now takes provisional pole position away from Finley, but then Chris follows it with a 27.0. And wow, and then Ghost puts himself up into P4 as well. There's a fair few heavy hitters on this grid. There's Lawrence making his way across the line, a 31.6. Not the best time for him, but he'll be looking for a respectable time out there, only on his, I want to say this is his 5th race on wheel. I don't know if he's been racing anymore, but at least in APP. Gosh, there was a voice crack and a half for you there. Wow, full car grid as well. This is going to be one to keep track of as we go along. But the times are coming in. There's still a few drivers yet to set a time. Let's keep an eye on Kevin O'Reilly while we go through the standings. Of course, going into this round then, top of the table, this is not the right standings. This is a Tier 2. I'm so used to doing Tier 2 races that I've forgotten how to do a Tier 1 race. Apologies, everybody. It's been a while. Anyway, top of the pile, Finley in the Aston Martin, who I'm guessing has changed his name, which is very, very annoying. But he leads the standings and is followed by Chris, Yaram, Sweeros, Dake, Speed, Hamilton, Berg, Jackalacko, Womack, Scott, the top 10, with Ghost, Vizzy, Rick, Kevin O'Reilly, Hamzaldo, Lawrence, Tape, FG, Rubiowski, Kylo Ren, and Aces versus Kings, the Drivers' Championship, with Aston Martin leading the way, 21 points for them. They are just 2 points ahead of Sauber, who are then 2 points ahead of Red Bull. Then you've got Haas on 14 points in P4. Then there's Mercedes rounding off the top 5, with Ferrari, Williams, RB, McLaren, and Alpine chasing them all down. It's very, very early doors. Kevin O'Reilly has put himself into P7. Let's see who else is out on the grid. Here's Lancer in his scarlet red Ferrari, a very familiar looking car. It's almost like I drive it on a Tuesday evenings. And if you were there for Tuesday evenings, no, I guess Tuesday evenings is correct, but the way I said it was wrong. Anyway, making their way down to the line now, Joe Lancer in that scarlet red car. If you saw the Tier 2 race, you know that there was some absolute carnage for the stewards to deal with, but weirdly not enough reports. But I digress. It was still a very entertaining race, and I'm sure we're going to be in for another entertaining race. Agro Alfie, by the way, out of the session. I don't know if he disconnected or he had a retirement. I wasn't looking at the time. I might have to try and look back on stream maybe to find out what happened. We'll see. But Lance is into the pits. He's invalidated, I think, coming out of the final corner. If not, it was the corner before. And that's going to be his attempt over. Is that Jonathan on another lap? No, he's into the pits. Okay, we're on a bit of a calm down now. But I think Hamzaldo is making his way down toward the line. He's got 2 more corners to navigate. Is he on a lap? It looks to be depleting the ERS as he goes down towards the final couple of corners. Get the best exit possible. You want to carry as much speed as you can, but into the pit lane he comes. That's his lap over. How about Hamilton Merck in his McLaren as he crosses the line 2/10 quicker, but no improvement to his position so far. Joe B, this man right here, watch out for him. He loves it around Bahrain. He proved that in Tier 2. He was about a 10th away from a win ahead of Exterek, who in a game of cat and mouse bested Joe B here, the veteran of Tier 2. He'll be looking to try and get his way into the top 10, I'd have thought, on his appearance here in Tier 1. And we'll be wishing him the best of luck. He's on a lap now, so let's follow along. Not a bad time, 28.4 in the first sector as he goes down. Let's ride on board with Joe. Let's see if he gets this corner right. Yes, he does. He loves Bahrain. Does Joe B, making his way up the hill now into turns 9 and 10. Get these corners right and you can gain a lot of time. Hits that apex, doesn't mess up the exit. The car's ahead of him. Get out of the way. They keep nice and clear all the way to the right hand side of the track, using all of the track available to him as he shifts down into gear 4. And then up the hill once more, climbing those gears, building up the speed, flat out through turn 12, into the next corner now for car number 46, making his way down for one final crack on this lap to try and gain as much time as possible. I didn't see the sector time. This is his first lap, however, so ignore any purple sectors that do pop up as is per usual. Down toward the line now for Joe. Where's this going to place him? It's 28.4. Not a bad shout into the top 10. It's where he'd want to be, but I'm sure he's got a bit more time underneath him. Let's see who else is out. I think Tape FG on a lap. He's invalidated, however, so that's going to be another trip around the circuit, another trip into the pits. Kylo Ren here looks very quick. From the last race, why are drivers going all the way to the right hand side? Is there something we don't know about? Is there more grip or something? Is it less bumpy down there? It's very strange. I've never seen that before. Joe Lancer out for another crack at it as well. Let's see. Yaram coming down. He's starting a lap. Let's go down the grid and find somebody on a lap. Jonathan is not on a lap. I think the Mercedes duo, no. How about this Aston Martin of Finley? Yes, he's on a lap. Down toward the line and into the pits. Not good enough for Finley, that lap. He's abandoned it. He's given up. No dice. How about Ghost? He's a second down, so this isn't a competitive lap time from Ghost. So don't look at that one. Chris invalidates. Let's see. Speed's about to start a lap. Gosh, this has been a lot of just ducking and diving through times. Here we go. Lawrence on a lap. One more corner to go. Makes his way through. Car number 89, the Alpine, down toward the line. How much more of an improvement will this be for the... I'm going to call him the rookie because it's his first sort of set of seasons on wheel. A 29.6. You know what? Not a bad time at all. Very respectable as Jack Alaco. 28.8 puts him into P12. Not a bad time from him. How about Lifebout, who's about to cross the line? A 26.5 from the qualifying merchant himself. Decent time. Kylo Ren, only a 400th of a second improvement for the Aston Martin driver. How about Lancer now? Finally going to get himself on the board with this lap. No invalidations this time. And it's P7 for the Ferrari. Who else? Yaram crossing the line. No, into the pits for Yaram. There's a Red Bull crossing the line now. I think they were starting a lap. That might have been Hamzaldo. Yes, he's starting a lap across the line. Jonathan improves on his time as well. I think Kevin just improved up to P5 as well. It's very close times between P4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and even 9, I suppose. But there is a clear top 3 here. Well, a clear top 3 with a clear leader right now. 26.5 for Lifebout. 5 tenths quicker than Chris. His former teammate of many seasons of APPF1. Lots of work to do for the rest of the grid, and especially this man Rick. He'll be wanting to put in some work, I'm sure. I think drivers are putting out some extra laps. It is very hard to warm up the soft tyres on this track. It's one thing I noticed from all of my practice and all of my laps to prepare for tier 2, so it's very, very difficult. Oh dear. Right, Hamzaldo now coming down toward turn number 14. I really can't think at the moment. Oh gosh, not many people in the chat. I'm shocked and appalled. Where is my adoring fan base? Nobody cheering me on as I return to the booth. It's depressing, actually. Where is everybody? Hello? I suppose Rick, who's normally lurking in my live chats, is on the track, so he's not there. Somebody say hello. It's awfully lonely in here. Oh dear. I'm going to double check that my mic is working. I've done that before. I've started a stream, my mic's not been working. So let me triple check that. No, I'm definitely audible. It's not just me. But let's take a look through the times then. Lifebout, 26.5. Nigh uncatchable right now. Sorry, I had a tickly throat then. Chris, he's got to find some time. He's got to find 5 tenths of a second to beat his old teammate. Finley as well. Can he dig deep? And Ghost has got a bit more of a mountain to climb. He's got 1.1 seconds to find. We all know Lifebout. He is the quali merchant. He is the time trial merchant. He's a very quick driver when he wants to be. And we'll see who can beat him. There's some very big names here. Lots of championships and lots of silverware on this grid. Lots of experience as well. Yaram making his way down after a great race last week. He'll be looking to try and keep that momentum going forward. That's the most important thing in these seasons. With such short races and such a short season, it's so important that when you get momentum You ride it. You keep going. You keep trudging along. You keep putting in the results. I've been what, 5 seasons back behind the wheel now, and it's taken me that long to even start thinking about being in contention for decent results, podiums, even wins at times, however tantalisingly close they may be. But I think Yaram just warming up the tyres again, so I think they're struggling out there to find the warmth in those softs, and it's such a weird issue with Bahrain that the tyre temperatures are just all over the place. And even in my practice sessions, it was the main issue for the car was trying to find where the temperatures are in the tyres. It's just no explanation for it. But while Yaram does an extra out lap, Rubialski is on a fast lap, so he's going to be coming out toward the sector 2 line now. 2/10 improvement from Rubialski. This could see him potentially into that top 10. There's a lot of close times in that top 10 section, but I'm sure Rick's got some lap time to find in him. But can Rubialski in the number 18 Haas find a lap, find what it takes to get himself into the sharp end of the grid? Let's find out as he crosses the line. It's an improvement, but not enough. It's such a close margin out there, but he just didn't find the time. Hamzaldo has invalidated his out lap, but this is his first lap now. As he crosses the line, I think Chris has just started a lap, maybe. No, Hamzaldo, sorry, has started a lap. This is Tape starting a lap as well. We're going to go back on board with Yaram. He's going to be the first of the drivers to complete a lap. Lifeboat hasn't come out, and it looks like he's not going to. He's not going to put another lap time in. I think he's done for this qualifying session. He's taking a little relax, getting a drink maybe, doing whatever it is he does between laps. Meanwhile, Yaram through turn 11 and 12 now he goes. That doesn't look too bad. Let's see how he does through into turn 13. He's 3/10 up on his previous. This could see him into the top 10. It's so competitive for those last positions in the top 10 where Rick and Joe are, or I say where Tape and Rick are even, that it's going to really, really take something special to get themselves in. Let's see what Yaram's got as he comes down towards the line, opens up the DRS for one final go at it, and it's P10. It's 2/10 quicker than Rick managed there as well. I think Finley crosses the line to start a lap. Chris as well starting a lap. Any changes? No. Let's find the next driver to cross the line. Sweet Ross starting a lap. Everybody just coming out, doing an extra out lap, really trying to warm up the tyres. I think Hamzaldo is going to be the next to cross the line. Has he found anything else? It doesn't seem like he's found enough to improve his position, and he's going to stay P19 last effectively, as Agro Alfie did not participate. 6/10 improvement for Tape FG, puts in P4, not quite in reach there. Hamilton Merck, his session is over. Finley is crossing the line, not yet. Is it Joe next to come across the line? It is a 6/10 improvement, puts him up to 8th place. I think that's Rick next. 5/10 for the Dutchman, puts him just P11. He just scrapes away from the top 10. Joe Lancer, in the meantime, crosses the line. He goes into P4 now. It's getting very competitive out there. The big hitters are yet to come, though. His Speed Alcoholic, 3/10 up on his previous best. Could this see him interrupt the status quo of the top 5 right now? Let's have a look as he goes up. P5 for the South African. Ghost into P6 now as well. How can Lawrence improve at all? Crosses the line, 9/10, P15. Not a bad effort at all from Lawrence. I think Finley's about to cross the line though. He's a 10th up, but he invalidated his time. Chris improves as well, but only a 10th off. I don't think anybody's got it in them to beat Lifeboat. I don't think anybody's got it. Rubialski gives it a decent go, but it's only P14 for him. Kevin O'Reilly, a 10th up, goes P8 just ahead of Joe, and I think that's everyone. I don't think Yaram, no, definitely not on a lap. Yaram, there it is, try as they might. Nobody could shift Lifebout from his position, not even his old teammate Chris, the season 10 champion of Tier 1. Such close margins between these two, but A very clear class of the field here. Lifebound Chris Finley is going to have to dig deep. It begs the question, how much was he up when he invalidated that time? I know just how it feels to invalidate on a final run. I did it at turn 13. Here, very tight margins, I'm told it was, from onlookers. But wow, Finley, I think, must be kicking himself. But there are no points for qualifying. It is going into race time. Finley can most certainly make this up. He's a very high caliber driver. We've seen some great performances from him. And there's a race yet to come. Well, the grid is as follows. Lifebout is your man on pole position, a tenth of a second ahead of Chris, with Finley rounding off the top three. Then there's Joe Lancer and Speed, the top five, with Ghost, Tape, Kevin O'Reilly, Joe, and Kylo Ren rounding off your top 10. Then there's Rick, Jonathan, Yaram, Rubiowski, Jackalacco, Lawrence, Swee, Ross, Hamilton, Merck, Amzaldo, and Agro Alfie, who was not able to set a time. Okay, I went back and investigated because it was bothering me that I didn't know what happened to Agro Alfie. It seems like he lagged out because he left the session. I don't think he tried to join back in. I'm going to check the Discord just in case he's been asking for an invite. No. Maybe he just left rather than lagged out. Rick asking me to do silly quotes in a different group chat. Okay, thanks, Rick. It makes no sense, Rick. If you're watching, no, I shan't. Anyway, put your predictions down for your winners here. If you listen to the APPF1 podcast, which unfortunately was late, it happens. Ghost is a very busy man. But if you listened, I'm sure you know my predictions. I don't know, I don't remember them. Ghost is the one in charge of keeping track of these things. I genuinely hardly remember what I said half the time, to be honest. I just hope that I'm right. I've won 4 championships on just winging it, to be honest. There's no secret to my predictions. If you're wondering, I just kind of do it. I just have a feeling. It's how I approach FPL, to be honest, but that's a story for another time, as we wait going on. But it's very nice to be back. I hope I can keep this up, and I hope I'm doing a good enough job as Iron Ghost would be. He's not gone anywhere in particular. He's not ill or anything. He's just a bit busy with another league, and that's fine. He's got stuff he's got to do. Hello to the 5 people watching. I'd imagine that's some drivers tuning in. Probably Rick. It's always Rick. Anyway, we're going to go racing. 5 red lights here for round 2. The Bahrain Grand Prix is underway and we are off and racing. Here we go in towards turn number 1. Let's get up some lap data very quickly and shoot this off. The Lifeboat's got a very good start. Chris and Joe Lancer. Finley is getting swamped down there. Oh, and it's almost contact between the McLaren and the Ferrari. Of this ghosting, there's contact, there's carnage. Joe Lancer is up a place. Finley is going to fight him back perhaps, but he can't. He tries to go down the outside. Doesn't get the run, and now the McLaren of Tape is trying to get involved in this as well. But Finley, an awful start for him. Chris is going to be chasing after Lifeboat in that RB. Red Bull versus RB. It's very interesting going along, and in Speed in the background is under some pressure from Rick. Rick gets ahead of him, maybe no, doesn't, but Speed is going to try and look to get ahead of Finley as he's fighting for position with Tape. Oh, and there's a bit of a squirrely Sauber in the background. I think that's Sweet Ross. Very sorry, it's a long time since I've done this. We've got a safety car, actually. It's a virtual. Something must have happened in the background. But I'm trying to keep up the excitement in my voice. I'm getting really tickly throat, and I don't know why. Very sorry. Again, it has been a while since I've done this, so I'm waiting on. But virtual safety car, we're neutralised. It was all exciting for a moment. I'm not sure what happened. Ghost way down the order here. Does he have damage, maybe? Was there an incident? No damage on the Alpine. Nor on the sister Alpine. In goes Joe. To the pits. No. Tape. Damage. Front ring change for the McLaren. Tyre change as well. Sweet Ross Yaram. 10-second time penalty. Oh no. These two drivers who had such a good race last week, down in the doldrums. A drive-through penalty for Lifebout speeding under the safety car. Hans Zaldo has retired in the pit lane. Oh no, retired on track? He's left the session? Something's happened there. But anyway, Lifebout drive-through penalty. That's going to gift the lead of this race to Chris. Oh no. It says Lifebout. Behind the wheel. Meanwhile, Joe Lancer is up a place. Let's take a look at the strategies as well. A few drivers on softs, a lot of hards in the top 5. Most drivers opted for the mediums though. Okay, interesting stuff. Let's have a look then. Battles up and down. Joe B is looking racy in that Sauber. He's got Rubialski for company behind him. He's looking to make some moves. Kylo Ren is his target in the Aston Martin. He'll be chasing after that one. Use the knowledge you gained from Tuesday, Joe. Save your ERS. Save it. Use it. Remember what Xterek did to you and use that as inspiration. As in comes Lifebout to serve that penalty immediately. The number 5 car into the pits, which gives Chris the lead. DRS is activated as we go. Well, we would have been on to second lap, but maybe the safety car nullified that. But anyway, Joe Lance is going to be on the front foot. He's going to be looking to go on the attack now and chase after Chris. He's got the overspeed, but he backs off. He doesn't go for it going into turn 4. That's a very interesting strategy from Lancer. He's waiting. He's biding his time, perhaps. Maybe he wants to get him in towards turn number 1. Get that double dosage of DRS. It's a double DRS zone, I think, is it? No. No, it's not. I think it has been in times past, maybe. But either way, Lancer is going to be hunting down Chris as Finley nearly goes into the back of him in that braking zone. Brakes very late. Does the man in the Aston Martin. Is Lancer going for it this time? Let's see, does he have that wing open? No, he's holding back. He's just holding station. He's waiting. Has a little sniff at Chris. And Finley might realise as he's watching. Maybe he's doing the same thing. And speed is there as well. It's a train of cars all the way down to Jackalacco there in the Williams. And these are some smart races here. Lancer is going to be looking to maybe get him on this run. This is the place to do it. Chris is going all the way to the inside. He's trying to break the toe. I think this is the place where he's going to pounce. There he goes. Lancer pounces upon Chris. And I think Finley follows him through as well. Oh, and it's going to be wheel to wheel through first turn and in towards turn 2 and 3 as well. They're still locked together. And I think Chris just sees off the Aston Martin. And that gives Lancer a little bit of breathing space as they're fighting. But they've both got DRS going down. So they're going to keep places for now. Chris loses the lead, and this is Lance's chance now. Lance has probably got about 7 more laps of decent tyre life, maybe less than that, to be honest, on the mediums, as he's got to try and open up this gap now. He's got to try and get rid of Chris, get him out of that DRS range. Meanwhile, Ghost and Hamilton Merck, a bit of an altercation perhaps has happened as Ghost is ghosted, quite ironically, and is inside of the McLaren and using it to his advantage, which in sim racing I suppose is okay, but backs off now and is going to be right on the gearbox of that McLaren but no dice for him. I wonder what happened to Ghost. I'll have to ask him in the podcast. I'm sure all will be told. Or maybe in the interview room if he manages to somehow make his way there. Meanwhile, back at the front, the train, the fight for the lead, the 9 cars from Lancer all the way down to the Scotsman, Jack Alacco, one of my fiercest rivals in Tier 2 at the moment. And let's see, look at them all darting to the right-hand side of the track, trying to break the toe from one another. This is fantastic. DRS train, all aboard the Lancer train. As meanwhile, there's something going on. Aguirre Alfie's found his way back into the session. He leads this little train with Hamilton, Merck and Ghost in it as well. They're all jostling for position. And speaking of, Rubialski going down the inside of Kylo Ren. They're side by side. Going into the next set of corners. They're still side by side. But backing out is Kylo Ren quite sensibly as Rubialski gets the place. I think... No, he defends the position, I should say. Soft tyres, I don't know. Are they going to try and take the mediums to the end, I wonder? Is it worth it? Who knows? But meanwhile, Yaram gets his way past Jonathan, does he? Jonathan holds it around the outside, and they're going to keep fighting as they go down towards turn number 4. This is for the last couple positions on the grid. These aren't even for points, yet fighting they are still, and Jonathan keeps the place, keeps Yaram at bay, and keeps racing. And look, Rubialski, I think, is starting to struggle on these soft tyres. He's starting to drop away from Rick, starting to split this train up now. That is a shame for the likes of Kylo Ren, Joe and Jack. They are going to be down and away from these top 5 who are going to start peeling themselves away now. Is Chris on the attack? Yes, he is. Looks to the outside. Finley's going to try and follow him through like he did last time, but Lancer runs him all the way to the outside. Chris wasn't quite far enough ahead to launch the attack correctly, but he gets a great exit through turns 2 and 3, and now this gives him the launch to go in towards the lead and take it away from Lancer once again. Another change for the lead. Lifebat's back in the race, by the way, but he's 7.4 seconds away from this man Ghost, who's just found his way past Hamilton Merck and got himself into P11. Takes a little look at the inside of Aguirre Alfie, thinks better of it. Does he go for a late lunge into turn 8? No, he doesn't. Very measured, very sensible driver is Ghost. Very patient as well. He'll take his opportunities, he'll set them up. A very, very accomplished racing driver is Ghost, my podcast partner. Lawrence has rejoined. Lawrence lagged out at some stage in the race. I'm glad he's managed to get back in. Joe B, 3-second time penalty for track limits. Ouch. Still doing very well, must be said, holding on to P8, but that time penalty is going to get him in a bit of hot water as Jonathan and Yaram are at it again toward the back of the grid. But we're back with the leaders once again, as I think Lancer might make another attack. Look at the speed the Ferrari's got. Pulls to the outside. Finley's going to try it once again as they go through. A little bit of contact perhaps between Chris and Lancer. Side by side, Finley now with Chris. They're going all the way along. Speed is lurking in the background in the Mercedes as well. Does he try and make it free ride? He can't quite. He can't get alongside. Chris is still alongside, however. They're side by side through turn 4. Chris is holding on to this one, but they're still fighting as they go in towards turn 5. This is exciting stuff, but he backs out. Does Finley. Chris stays along. This fighting is helping Lancer. He'll be saying, yes, fight, keep going. Give me that space. Finley, no ERS. He's charging it back up, perhaps. Going into none. That is Lawrence out of the race. Oh, no. Oh, no. He's got that horrible glitch. Sort it out, Codemasters. Honestly. No safety car. I think Lawrence has joined back in, tried to take over his car, and it has DNF'd him. That is a huge shame. It's a huge disappointment. I'd be seething if that happened to me. Seething. A joke. I'm sorry, Lawrence. Anyway, back into the action. Are we going again? Lancer into the pits. It's a virtual safety car. What's caused that, I wonder? There's a very slow Mercedes, and that's the answer. There it is. Kevin O'Reilly, I'm going to assume, has either lost it at turn 10 or turn 11, and is now out of front wing. So the leaders all in. Joe, although Chris and Finley stay out on the hards, this might throw their strategy into a bit of hot water, maybe. Because I think Joe... Well, those are the drivers who started on mediums. They could, in theory, go to the end, actually, on hards. Quite comfortably. They wouldn't be great after about 16 laps, but they'll make it. So that takes some of the pressure off of Lancer. He'll be able to try and claw back, and under VSC he'd have gained a little bit of time over the guys who didn't pit, which is the top 5. Lifebout seemingly didn't pit either. Everybody else, though, came in. Rubialski on a new set of soft tyres. Okay. You do you, pal. Rick in a bit of no man's land here, but what Joe Lancer now has is clear air. These three do not. They're going to be in each other's wheel tracks. They're going to be in each other's way. They're going to be fighting one another by the looks of things as they go down to turn 1 once more. Work together, lads. There's a greater race at play here as Finley once again, quite cut and dry pass in towards turn 1. Takes the lead, I think, for the first time in this race. And now we have a new leader and a fight for the lead still. And a very split up grid. Speaking of a fight, Jonathan and Yaram are locked together. These two are having a lovely little race of their own, and now it's for points. There's one singular point on offer, and they're going to fight each other to the bitter end. Although Yaram on the back foot, Ghost into the pits. Does he have damage, or has he just come out of the pits? What happened to Ghost? He pitted under safety car, no? Or was this his allotted time? I'm not sure, but a bad day at the office for Ghost. Not his finest hour at all. I wonder what happened. I'm so intrigued. I didn't catch it at all. Meanwhile, Finley, Chris, Speed, all fighting each other. Chris a little squirrely on the exit of turn 13 there. Down towards the final couple of corners now. Speed is just having a look, letting Chris know he's there. Very little battery for Chris. No, he's just saving the battery. My mistake. Saving it all for this attack down towards turn number 1. He's got so much speed, but Finley was just too far ahead. Oh, and Chris just gives him a little love tap on the back there. Nothing too dangerous. Chris with much more battery, as is Speed as well. I think Finley's biding his time, maybe. He's just trying to hold him off. The other two are trying to hold back as well. They're not wanting to pounce. I think they're slightly working together here, but I don't know. The gap to lead is not too much. When they come in, they're not going to be in the lead of this race. They're going to be playing chase. I think if they were to pit now, they would come out probably around Rick and Rubialski, maybe. Somewhere in that ballpark. Maybe even in between Rubialski and Kylo Ren, in all honesty. Anyway, Jonathan and Yaram still at it. Yaram was ghosted there for a second. Jonathan's caught up to Joe in his Sauber. Not having the best of times out there, but we did have that safety car that did throw a little bit of a spanner into the works, and the top 3 still going at it. When are they going to come in, I wonder? Not now, surely. No. But just trying to break the toe all the way to the right-hand side of the grid as Chris goes for the move. Cut and dry pass in towards turn number 1. Good stuff from the Red Bull. Another change for the lead. Speed Alcoholic's having a good race so far. He's staying in amongst it, keeping up with the drivers ahead. He'll just have to be patient. He'll just have to choose his moment. I think it might be worth him trying to go for an undercut. Honestly, I'd be thinking about that right now. Behind this train, Sweet Ross has rejoined the session. I sincerely hope it's not another incident of that bug, because that's going to suck. A speed, a little wiggle out of turn 8 just keeps it within the DRS range. Hello to the 5 people watching. How are you all doing? I hope you're enjoying the racing so far. It's a little bit of a lull up and down, but there's a little bit of action to be found here and there as the virtual safety car has really mixed things up. Let's see make our way along. Very good. Hello, Scott. I'm glad you're well. As Rubiowski and Rick, they're racing each other right now. Rubiowski making his way past. I think Rick's suffering a little bit. Hello, Hamza. Very good. I'm glad you're well as well. Here we go. Finley once again making the move. Easy pass. Nothing too exciting about that one. Oh, your game crashed. Unbelievable. I'm so sorry that happened, dude. That is rough. Honestly, Codemasters, sort it out, please. Well, best of luck for next time. Let's hope it doesn't do it again. There's a yellow flag. I think that's for Sweet Ross, another victim of the game crashing. I'm not the only one, Hamza. Oh, that is... It really gets on my suede, you know? Really gets on my suede. I hate it. Or whatever. Meanwhile, Agro Alfie, he's giving Lifeboat a bit of a hard time here. And look who's lurking in the background. Look who's gained a bit of time. Joe Lancer. Just biding his time. This could be good for the leader. Let's see. Let's check the gap to the leader right now. Yeah, 15 seconds. I think if any of the leaders come in now, they are around P7 and 8. They're going to be about 5 seconds behind, I'd have thought, if they came in. Speaking of the leaders, let's see what they're up to. Toward the front they go. Chris making the move down the inside. A little bit more action as Speed tries to go for a move, but isn't quite close enough. He just backs off. And back up the hill we go in towards turn number 4. Let's see if anything else is happening. Agro Alfie on the charge. Lifeboat. Oh, a little bit of contact between the two, but I think that was just some hard racing between them. There's a little twitchy. It's Lifeboat as he goes over the curb as Kylo Ren passes Rick, who's gone into the pits now. Meanwhile, Tape being chased down by the Scotsman Jack Alaco, but he's just keeping him at arm's length right now. Ghost in a bit of a world of his own, but he's trying to chase down Joe in a Sauber ahead of him. Only 2 points so far if it was to finish as it was. That is a shame. As Yara and Jonathan swap places once again. Another swap between them. Jacko keeping Tape honest right now. There's another fight about to happen. Lancer has caught up to Lifeboat and Alfie. I think the fighting between them has gone on. I was up 7 places at the start, but it was, yeah. It's always even worse when you've had a good start to a race. Hopefully next time, mate. Once again, Finley on the move. Change of the lead, but Speed's trying to get involved now. I think he's had enough of sitting behind these two. He wants a slice of the pie as they almost come together in a calamitous incident. Oh my word. As Lifeboat under attack once again, or at least on the attack. Joe Lancer jumps his teammate there. Agro Alfie gets ahead. Maybe some team orders between the two Ferraris as Lancer is going to be setting his sights on Lifeboat. Remember, Lifeboat has not pitted. Lancer has. And ooh, let's check that gap to leader once again. It's just coming down. It's come down by about 2 seconds. This is Lancer's race to lose. A safety car would really spoil the party now, I think, for Lancer. He'll be hoping that nothing else major happens. Meanwhile, Joe and Rick going wheel to wheel, two veterans of APPF1, and Kevin O'Reilly passing Yaram, who's in the pits. Oh dear. Rick looking for a move, doesn't quite find it. Can't quite make his way past the Sauber in his Williams. This fighting is playing into Ghost's hands. Ghost will want him to keep fighting in order to try and just close that gap and get into a better points paying position. Hamilton Merck's not too far up the road either, so could be a move on there maybe. Back to the leaders now. Finley and Chris and Speed all the way down into turn one. Surely we're getting close to their pit window. Meanwhile, all the way down. I think he can, Scott. I think he can. Speed, Chris, Finley, none of them have pitted yet. I mean, yes, they're going to have fresh medium tyres, but are they going to be able to close up the gap? The longer they stay out, the worse this gets for them. At this rate, they're going to be 9 seconds behind. I think you lose probably around 21 to 19 seconds in a pit around here. I think. If I've got it correct. It could be a little bit more than that. I'm not sure. But I think Lancer's just reeling them in slowly. These lot keep costing each other time as they go through Sector 1. It could be a grandstand finish maybe. These three could be chasing him down as they go. But as it stands, Lancer is your provisional leader. I think the ideal thing, I suppose, if the leaders were to come in, the safety car comes out as Chris goes past, and while Lance is in the lead, and he puts on some mediums maybe, but I don't know. I think Lance has got one hand on this for now, but he's falling off maybe a little bit. Still, it's still wide open, I suppose. But I think Lance is in a great spot. Tape's got some damage, it seems. Did he get that from fighting with Jack Alacco? I don't know, but he's going to make a move, is he? On the Scotsman, down into turn one we go. Fairly easy pass for the McLaren. Does Jack fight it? No, he does not. He tries to, at the very least. Oh, and he's going to go around the outside of turn number 2. Inside for 3. Side by side they go. He gets the DRS as well. Down towards turn number 4. And my favourite saying, Jack Alacco down the inside of the McLaren. And he gets the place ahead of Tape FG. A fantastic little bit of battling between these two. Back at the front. It's still a bit of a fight. Lance has closed a second on that lap. This is getting risky now. Remember, Lifebout's got to come in too. Agro Alfie's got to come in too. So, and Rubiowski surely has to come in. The top 3 have to start working together. I think, yeah, this is what I've been saying for the last few laps. But they haven't been. They're fighting each other. Maybe they don't realise Lancer pitted, but he came in. And speaking of, Alfie now into the pits. He's got to serve a time penalty. But did he get 10 seconds? It looks like he got 10 seconds for something. Oh dear. Rubiowski as well into the pits. What was this? Now he's on hards? Go mediums. What are you doing? What is this strategy? Okay, I'm going to stop questioning that because it's going to give me a stroke. Anyway, back to it. Lifeboat. Hello, Palang in the chat. How are you doing? As Hamilton Merck using the McLaren's 2025 upgrade early, the teleporting F1 car. Incredible. I don't know how they did it. They're really sitting on something special there. Oh, any of them going to peel in? Any of them at all? Speed, alcoholic, comes into the pits. Here we go. There's Lancer coming through the final corner. He's going to 100% be ahead of the South African. Will Lifeboat go in? No, Lifeboat stays out. Maybe wanting to put the pressure on Lancer as he goes along. Lifeboat not there. Speed comes out. The important part now, his gap to Lancer. Where is he going to come out? And will this trigger the other two to come in? He's got to put in a hell of a lap. It's hammer time, as they would say. In the Mercedes garage, he's 11 point, about 12 seconds, I'm gonna say, behind Lancer. That's gonna be a bit of a fight to go. He's got the best tyre for it. The mediums are probably the best race tyre in terms of pure pace, but well, pace and reliability, I suppose, but still. This is going to be a fight to the line. Speaking of fights, there's a bit of a scrap going on down here. Ghost is leading this fight as Rick and Agro Alfie go side by side into turn 4, and it's all clean stuff for now. The McLaren of Hamilton Merck wants to get involved too, but right now Alfie gets ahead of the Dutchman Rick. Ghost on a recovery drive of recovery drives, finds himself in a position that I was quite into on Tuesday, to be honest, on a recovery drive. Still, they stay out. Are they going for softs to the end? Is this a hard soft run for these two? I don't know, but Finley down round the outside again of Chris. Yeah, he is going to undercut them, I'd have thought. Speed's already gained about 2 seconds on Lancer. Okay. Yeah, they will do softs. 100%. That is what they're going for here. These league races on a world of their own. They've got it cracked. Not as... They're just a league above us plebs in tier 2. Oh dear. Oh, I do make myself laugh sometimes. It's funny. Oh gosh. But I think this could be a grandstand finish here. Speed is closing in on Lancer and Lifeboat. Lancer, he's just got to be consistent, but Speed will close him in. But will he have the laps left to do it? We are approaching about 10 laps left of this race now. It's certainly possible. He might. Yeah, he's going to put in some mad lap. He's going to need to, but I think he's got the grip. That's the important part. The hards do not have grip. And speaking of, in come Finley and Chris at the same time. No shenanigans in the pits. As they go in they come. Is it soft compound tyres? Yes, it is. Palang called it right in the chat. We called it right as well as we went on. There goes Lancer now. Where is Speed? Look on that right-hand side of your screen for the cars who have just come into the pit lane. Where are they? Just coming out. So Speed has got the undercut here. Chris and Finley have just left the pits. Now, this is where they really do need to work together, Hamza. Because if they don't, then Speed will get away from them, I think. They slow each other down now. It all goes down the drain. Meanwhile, Rick fighting still with Hamilton Merck. Down the inside he goes into P9 for the McLaren. And it's another place for him as Ghost has got rid of them Agro Alfie has got past Ghost in the meantime as well, but Ghost, he's a tenacious driver. He won't let that one go so easily. He'll keep on the back of that train for sure. Here we go then. This is the fight for the lead. Speed has 7.5 seconds to close down to Joe Lancer. He's probably about a corner ahead, I'd have said, at this rate. Of his rival. He's close. He's just got the grip. I think that's the issue. I struggled so much on the hard tyres because I just had no grip during this tier during the tier 2 race on Tuesday. And then when I put the mediums on, you know, I went 16 laps. It's just bonkers. The grip from mediums to hards. Palang saying Finn, Chris, speed for the top 3. Potentially. I don't know. You see, the softs. How long do they last? Like, they've maybe got 4 or 5 laps of decent grip before they start to be a little bit slippy and slidey. I don't know. You tell me. I didn't use the softs. How far can you realistically take them? Is the question. Anyway, Speed Alcoholic closing probably about 8/10 a lap, I want to say. And he'll be fully aware of Chris and Finley behind. And there goes your prediction for Finley for the win, because he's got a 3-second time penalty. He could maybe get it removed, but that's really going to put a dampener on things. Tape's got 10 seconds, 6 seconds for Joe, and then 3 for Agro Alfie, Kevin and Jonathan there as well. But I think this is Chris's race to win here. But Lancer doing good. He's not buckling under the pressure. A 6-second gap with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8 laps to go. Isn't... It's not invincible, as Finley has set the fastest lap, but he's also got himself ahead of Chris. He'd have to close down a lot of time. And I don't think Speed will let them go past. Like, he'll fight them as much as he can, I think. And I think it's going to come down to it. If one of them gets past Speed and is able to get into clear air, that's when Joe's going to worry, I think. That's when Lance is going to be worried. But right now, he's cruising. He's putting in the times he needs to at the minute. Doing what he can. While the others, well, now the pressure's on. They're in DRS range now. Finley, he's got a lot of work to do to get a win here. And even stay on the podium at this rate. I think this podium could honestly be any of the top 4. Which normally is how it works out, I suppose. But I'm going to call it now. I'm going to say... You know, I'm going to say Speed Chris Lancer. There you go. Speed Chris Lancer. I'm going for it. Speed loves this track. There's a yellow flag in the first sector. There's a Haas retiring in the pit lane. That's why. That's Yaram out of the race. Meanwhile, Hamilton, Merck, Joe, Rick, Kylo Ren are in a fight of their own. Completely unawares as Chris is on the attack. He's gone up the inside of Finley and Speed. He's got them both in one go. He missed the move while we were looking toward the back, but Chris has pulled the trigger and he is off after Lancer now. This is where it's going to start getting messy now for Lancer. He's got to really try and hold on. He's got 5 seconds to the cars behind. It's going to be quali lap after quali lap, surely, for Chris now to try and catch up. Finley, I think he's going to be kicking himself at the end of this race as he tries to brake as late as he dares. Maybe that's cost him on the exit there. I'm saying Chris, Speed, Lancer. Is that your final answer, Hamza? Your final answer. Yeah, Chris, Speed, Lancer, I think. I think he's right. There you go. Alright. Yeah, sure you don't need to phone a friend. Anyway, speed alcoholic. Can he try and get it? I said speed, Chris Lancer, didn't I? Yeah, I did. What happened to Kevin O'Reilly? Indeed. He got wing damage. I think he must have lost it either at turn 10 or 11, and he had no wing at one stage. As Speed now takes the initiative and goes down. This is what Lancer needs. He needs these guys to keep fighting. It's getting awfully close between them. And now Finley's back in the mix here. Could it be 3 wide? Down towards turn 4. No, Charles. It was nowhere near, actually. Camera angle was deceiving. Finley back up the inside. This is exactly what Lancer needs, even. These 3 fight, and Lancer runs away with it. It's still all to play. Anything can happen within these last 5-6 laps. Well, 5.5 laps now, probably. Anything can happen. Speaking of, Kevin, Jonathan, Rick, one of these drivers will finish with no points. It's looking like it could be Kevin, in all honesty, with that time penalty that he has. But we'll see. Jonathan launching the attack now. 3 wide. Down they go. This is Schumacher and Hakkinen levels of racing between them. But Rick gets the move on them both. Jonathan gets into P15. What a lovely move that was. I'm glad I caught that one on camera. Lancer is right in front of him. He's only a stone's throw away now as Finley and Chris on it again. Finley into P2 now, but that's P4 provisionally. He's got a lot of work to do. Lancer's seeing them creep up. In theory, in the closing lap, Speed's going to be the driver with the best tyres. This is a thrilling race from start to finish, it must be said. These 4 have been inseparable. Lifeboat be thinking, oh why did I speed under safety car? It can catch the best of drivers out, in all honesty. No one's infallible to a safety car infringement. Oh dear, as Finley goes very, very deep into turn 10. Joe meanwhile gets past Hamilton Merck. Once again, he's got a time penalty though. Ghost is on the back of Agro Alfie and Jack Alaco here. The real fight between them is between Ghost and Jack, in all honesty. Agro Alfie is just sort of in the way. It's down to 1.1 seconds now, Hamza. But yes, 2 seconds it was. Now down to 1.1. This is absolutely tense stuff. A Grand Slam finish. Maybe the Oracle Scott was correct. Maybe Lancer did not have this one as tightly wrapped up as he did. No safety cars to ruin it. Chris is once again taking the opportunity. They are sort of working together. Where did Chris qualify? We can probably work that out. Kevin, sorry, qualified P8. Yes, P8. Not a great race for Kevin O'Reilly. That'll be one to scratch off the ledger, I'm sure. Anyways, Ghost has got his way past Agro Alfie. He's going to look to get himself past Jack Alaco now as well. Nothing quite going on yet within the top 4. Let's have a look. Can Ghost make his way through? Down the inside he goes. They're going to be wheel to wheel as they go through. 2 veterans of APPF1. Jack Alaco holds it around the outside. Does Ghost have the DRS for the next part of the track? No, none of them do. But Agro Alfie does. Will he get involved? No, he hasn't. And, it's tight between them, but we've got to go back to the front because it could all be kicking off here. Lancer now, he's got to really make that Ferrari wide as possible, Hamza. You are correct. He's got to get his elbows out now. but will it end up costing them? I think we're going to keep locked on these four now, because this is where the action is. This is where the race is decided. The sharp end of the grid, as they call it. The top three positions. And these four drivers from four different teams all going at it with one another. Chris pulls to the inside now. And I think Lancer, I don't think he's got any fight left in him with these three coming through. Will Speed get on there as well? Speed not quite able, but he's down the inside of the Ferrari. And I think he's just about got it. Lancer's going to try and go down the inside, but he's got nothing left in those hard tyres. But if he stays with them, if he bides his time, he can get himself back into those podium contention. Oh, and he's hit the back of Speed. Oh, will we see that one in the steward's room? Potentially we will. Lancer does the sporting thing and gives the position back, but they've now lost 2.7 seconds, and I think it's over for them. Well, not quite. There's a matter of P2 at play. One of them will get it. Will it be Lancer or Speed, or will the Finley and Chris eke away? That's the ideal situation for Finley here. If he can just eke away, which I think he will, in all honesty. The gap's not that big now. It's almost 3 seconds already, and there's been another incident further down this track. Joe's got wing damage. Tape's been involved in something as well. That one we might see in the steward's room, but it's all kicking off in these final laps. Meanwhile, Ghost has got rid of Jack and Alfie now, more or less. Alfie's has overtaken Jack. It's all kicking off. But Speed, maybe he does have some more in the tank. He's going to hope Finley and Chris are going to fight one another now. Finley takes the lead, but it's all a moot point, really, if he can't get that penalty removed. Chris is in a perfect position. Perfect position for them now. 2 laps to go. Joe, damage. Tape gets through. Alfie, can he get a run on Ghost, perhaps? As they make their way down in towards turn 1. Can Alfie get past Ghost here? To the inside he goes. Side by side between the two of them. Alfie closes the door, gets the move done. Very cut and dry, that one. Ghost, will he have another go, though? Rubiowski gets past Hamilton Merck in the meantime. Does Ghost have another go? Oh, somebody's had a bit of a moment. I think that's Kevin. As they go along, Chris and Finley still locked together, though. Well, keep an eye on this battle, and I think it's all over for Speed. I think Finley might have just had an incident, maybe. I think he just lost the position to Chris. Oh, dear. A little bit of an anticlimax, to be honest, with that incident between Joe and Speed. 4 cars cut down to 2. It is a shame, but Finley round the outside once again. Side by side they go, almost contact between the two of them, but Finley just keeps it and stays ahead as he goes through on the attack. And Chris on the attack once more. He's going to try around the outside of 4. That's a bold move. Finley's going to show him the door. A little bit of wheel banging. This is the final lap now. It all matters. That spot for P3 is going to be under contention as well. But I think Chris, all he's got to do is keep with Finley here. And it is a win for the Season 10 champion. Meanwhile, Ghost gets past Agro Alfie there. And, is Jacko going to go for it as well? Late braking maybe from the Scotsman. He thinks about it, doesn't quite go for it. And now they're going down towards turn 4. Little squirrely from Ghost. He's going to be giving it everything he's got in towards these final few corners of the race to hold on to P6. 32 seconds behind the lead 5. Very close. Meanwhile, we've got one more corner. Kevin O'Reilly has crashed. That's just before turn 13, and Chris, he wants this on track. He goes to the inside of the final corner. He doesn't have to do that, but he wants to be sure. But over the line they come now. Finley, it's a drag race all the way, and I think Finley just gave that to Chris there, but Chris wins with speed, taking the final slot on the podium, and Finley coming in P2 there. Wow. What a race for these five. Is Ghost going to be able to hold on as they go down? I think he is. I think he's just closing out. Agra Alfie's got the penalty. Jack's right where Ghost wants him, really, behind Alfie, so he can't launch an attack. So I think Ghost has cinched that P6. A bad day at the office, but he's managed to recover well. He was like that dog sat in the fire saying, this is fine for the race. And P6, I think he'll be happy with that at the end. Jacko P7 takes it away from Alfie with that time penalty. Kylo Ren in a bit of no man's land. He'll finish P9. Rubialski, will he take that final slot in the top 10? Yes, he will. Hamilton Mert chases him all the way for it. Then Tape and Joe. Oh, Joe gets him over the line. That was close stuff between them, but Tape had a penalty, I believe. So he was never really keeping that. And Rick, a bad day at the office for this man. Title contention last season, he turns it into race gear. He's doing donuts like he's retiring. There he is. I think he knows he's on stream, to be honest, and crosses the line. And Jonathan, the last man to finish in the points. Woo! What an evening indeed. Shall we do some interviews? I think we should do some interviews. Let's call them in. Let's summon the troops. Let's not open YouTube videos. Oh my god, my phone is just wanting to be a pain right now. Views at Chris at Finley at Speed. Let's see if we can get them in for interviews. I'm going to move over to the party chat for the said interviews. I'll be very quick with this. There we go. So got to go through the results now. The results then, as we go into the end of this race. I can't speak. It's been a long day. Chris is your winner with Finley just behind with his 3-second time penalty. Speed takes that final spot on the podium after a hard-fought race. Lancer tried as he might, but he couldn't quite hold on. P4 for him. Not a bad day. Lifebout finishes off the top 5. Then Ghost, Jacko, Agarafi, Kylo Ren and Rubialski your top 10. With Hamilton, Merck, Joe, Tape, Rick, Jonathan, Kevin O'Reilly, Yaram, Sweet Ross, Lawrence and Hamzaldo, those final, I guess, 4 here, not finishing. Kevin O'Reilly's classified, but those are your points. Well, drivers scoring nil points, I suppose. Yeah. Oh, they were just waiting to see if we can get everyone in. Waiting for Chris and Speed. Okay. Hopefully Speeds will work. Oh, Kevin O'Reilly says he had 2 punctures for the last 4 laps. Jesus Christ. just pit at that point. If you're that far back, oh my gosh. No tire. Oh, he had no tires left, Kevin. Jesus, that is a bad day at the office. Let's see what's going on here. Have we got everybody in, or are we missing Chris? We're missing Chris, and he's just joined. As speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Okay, right. Interview time. God, I haven't done this in a while. We'll start then with Chris. Race winner. Just a reminder, make sure your mics can be heard on the stream. Otherwise, the people cannot hear your lovely, lovely voices. Amazing, Chris. It was a competitive race from start to finish. To be honest, Lifeboat whiffed it, gave you the chance at the lead, and you fought hard. You went long into the race and took the soft tyres those final 9 laps, and it was a hell of a race to watch. Just talk us through it from your perspective, please.
I mean, when Leiba got the drive-through, it was a pretty boring race afterwards, because it was just me and Finley trying to work together and not let Lancer catch us too much on the hard tires, because he was definitely going to undercut us, because we were going really long into the race. But otherwise, we're just trying to manage it, not get any oversteers, not get unnecessary tire wear, and save battery for the important moments.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like it was quite a bit of a fight, and I think Speed put a little bit of a spanner in the works as well. Were you worried about Speed that was just lurking behind the pair of you as you were trying to work together?
He definitely made it a little harder than he should have.
Definitely. I mean, it was a great fight between the three of you, and I guess how were those soft tyres toward the end? Were they fine? Were they running out of grip toward the end there?
Man, they had too much grip.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know how it is with the tires on this track, but the medium is not good at all, so we have to drive on the softs.
Really?
Because the medium isn't that quick, but it has a lot of tire wear, so it's just better to take the sacrifice and go on softs.
Wow. You know what? I mean, different skill levels. To be honest, you guys are way faster than me, so you know what you're talking about. But well, excuse me, I can't speak right now. But a decent showing at Bahrain, though. Is Bahrain one of your favourite tracks?
Not really. I haven't driven it on this game before, so it was a first-time experience.
Very well.
But it was pretty fine. It wasn't bad.
And well, what are your chances for the season this week? Are you going to make more of the races? Or are you fighting for the championship? What's the plan going forward?
I mean, ideally it's to win the championship, but I don't know how often I'm going to race, so that's an issue.
Fair enough, mate. Well, a decent race today nonetheless. I'm sure you enjoyed that one. It looked very much fun out there. Alfred, I'm not going to even try and pronounce his second name, says you're not PR trained at all, Chris.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Oh. Well, thank you, Chris, for hopping in. Well done today.
Thank you.
Right, on to P2 now. Finley, again, it was... I could pose the same sort of questions to all three of you, to be honest, because you were all there. But just run us through the race from your perspective. It was a hard-fought one.
Yeah, it was just pretty routine, just like swapping each lap or trying to. And then, I mean, I had like 2 warnings after 3 laps, and then I just lost concentration and got the other pen. So I just wanted to have a bit of fun. And obviously, once we pulled away from Lancer and Speed, it was just keeping the gap whilst also just having a nice little battle.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like a lot of fun. Were you at all concerned, perhaps, about the size of the undercut that Lancer was going to get over you guys?
Well, it was more that when I saw the gap, it wasn't closing too quick between Lancer and us, that I knew we'd pretty comfortably get him on the softs afterwards, because just the difference in pace would be multiple seconds a lap.
I mean, it seemed pretty cut and dry, to be honest. I mean, Scott called it quite well in the in the chat. It shows how long I've been away from the booth to have said that Lancer might have had a decent chance, and he did try, but those hards just are awful after a certain point.
Awful in general.
Yeah, but well, a decent result nonetheless to come home with P2, even with that penalty though. Is it full sights on that first Tier 1 championship finally?
Well, the curse is otherwise, but I mean, like Chris said, it's also a matter of how many races I can attend, because I know there's going to be at least one or two that I'll miss, and there's people who always show up for every single race who that's how they win the championships.
Attendance is king, as they would say, I suppose. Oh dear. Well, a decent performance though today. Finley, you gave us a good bit of entertainment for the 45 minutes, and it was a lot of fun to watch. But hopefully you can make more of the races. Same to Chris as well, actually. But a decent showing today, mate.
Cheers.
Cool. And finally, Speed. I'm going to check your ear first. Can you hear me all right? Yeah, I can hear you. I'm just going to check the stream can hear you as well, actually. I'll ask questions, but chat, let me know if you can hear Speed as I'm talking to him. Cool. So, Speed, it was a bit of a race in waiting, I suppose, as it would say. You were sort of sat behind the top two, just waiting for them to maybe come together or just try and pick up the pieces as they were going. But just run us through the race from your perspective, please.
Yes, exactly. It was difficult. I was actually surprised that I could stay with him for so long. Surprised I had the pace, but yeah, I enjoyed that race. I just unfortunately at the end I got hit by Lancer. But yeah, I've done the same thing a few times, so it happens. But yeah, I enjoyed that. It was a good race, and yeah, I made a mistake to put on the mediums because yeah, the tieway was a lot, and I was actually surprised that the others put on softs, that it was gonna keep for so long. But well done to them. It was a good strategy, good race.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch, and it was a lot of sort of chasing along as they went. We did catch that moment with between you and Lancer, but Lancer did the sportsman-like thing to let you back through. But I think that was the final nail in the coffin for you.
Yes, exactly. I'm happy he let me through. At the end of the day, that's the main thing, is that you say sorry to the person when you know you've made a mistake. But yeah, no, it's fine. I'm very happy with the podium. Like I said, I was surprised to be fighting at the front.
Yeah, I mean it was good to have you at the front, Speed. What are your sights now going into the rest of the season going forward? We've got a long way to go.
I'll say the same thing what the others said. Depends how many races we're gonna make, because yeah, Friday is difficult to make it, but when I can, I try my best.
Well, hopefully you and the others can all make as many races as possible. So we've got quite the fight like we did today at the front. But well done today, Speed. Good job on the podium. Hopefully you can make it next time.
Thank you very much, Timo. Thank you for giving your time to commentate. I'm sure it's going to be entertaining to watch back. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sure you'll love it. Oh, dear. Well, that's it. Wow. Hopefully I'll be back next Friday. I don't know. I cannot tell you right now. I'll know on Monday. And I'm sure I'll be shouting about it in the Tier 1 chat. But that's it. Thank you all so very, very, very much for watching. I'm going to go rest my voice now. Maybe have a cup of tea and a little bit of a rest. But there's plenty more racing where that came from. There is the Elite race on Sunday. Check that one out. That should be a good one. Then, of course, we go into the Hungary week starting on Tuesday. Listen out for the podcast as well, which should hopefully be up on Monday night, if not Tuesday, as we go forward as well. I hope you guys are enjoying that. But from me, it is a very, very warm good night.